to deliver. Thank you. All right. While I sat there when I came in, and I was giving the program, I thought in my heart, wow, what doctor sent to me was actually different, was a bit different. When she was inviting me, she sent a text and said, I said, is there any topic? She said, no, just something general. As I was brainstorming on what exactly to come and speak on, she again sent, and this was what she sent: women's mental health, breaking silence and prioritizing care. But when I sat there and I looked at the program, I saw what we had there was women's health. Are we together? Yeah, let me get that. Yes, women's health and well-being, breaking silence, and prioritizing self-care. I was wondering, I just quickly remembered, the stage is mine. You understand? Don't be ruffled. We would eventually get to it. And beautiful enough as God will have it, I want to see it as being divinely orchestrated. Because the aspect she gave me will affect the career, will affect the children, will affect the society at large. And that's why I want to see it as being divinely orchestrated by God to have me speak on this at this time. This is the outline. I don't want to bore you with that. Mental health of women. Why do we need to talk about that at this time? Mental health remains a critical yet often overlooked aspect of overall well-being, particularly for women who face psychological challenges shaped by the way we are framed, the social and cultural factors. Most of the time, people want to hear you when you say you have malaria. It's not out of place. When you say you've been diagnosed, you have typhoid. People can relate to it. But by the time you say you are sad, you feel depressed, people look at you as if you just dropped from heaven. They are wondering why nobody wants to talk about that. Die in silence. They can easily relate when you say, I have fever, I have typhoid. They say, physical health. They have suddenly forgotten that it is the mind that carries the body. When people's psyche and mental states are well, I can tell you their body can go for years. But anything that affects our house would affect basically everything. And historically, discussions surrounding women's mental health have been shrouded in stigma, just like Professor Bejide said, with many individuals suffering in silence due to societal expectations. Our PRO said, women will take care of themselves to the point of neglecting themselves. They will take care of others to the point of what? Neglecting themselves. Therefore, it's important to talk about breaking the silence in this context, which signifies a necessary shift towards open discourse, awareness, and proactive intervention to address the mental health needs of women. Breaking the silence requires a multidimensional approach that incorporates public awareness campaigns, policy reforms, and integration of gender-sensitive mental health services. What is mental health? I'm sure what we are familiar with is the psychiatry. People don't become psychiatric until they have deviated, until their mental health has been abused. And it's not a day thing, it's a journey. And that's why we need to pay attention to this. Mental health refers to emotional, psychological, and social well-being of an individual. Mostly you said health is physical, but most of the time the emphasis is more on the physical, which ought not to be. Why? mental health is a critical component of the overall well-being. Women face mental health challenges, I've said earlier on, due to about the way we are framed and wired, social and cultural factors. What's the current state of women's health? Not just globally, but even in Nigeria. What's the current state? In 2017, the percentage of women that were treated for mental illness were 50 times higher than men. Go to Harrow, the neuropsychiatry work, and just do a rough statistics. Hello? Young ladies, I want you to give your attention at this time. And just do a random check. You will see, even the men that are there are either there because of drug abuse, not because of anything serious. Drug abuse, either they have abused cocaine, marijuana. But go and see our ladies. Is there a case of heartbreak? Hey, it broke my heart. I don't know where you let your heart be for somebody to break. And then, some who said no, maltreatment from in-laws. Some who said, a lot of issues around women's mental health. Some who said because demise of husband, what we call post-traumatic stress disorder, they were not able to recover. In-laws threw them home, and they're out of the house. They were denied of their husband's right, and because they didn't have strong social support, they keep thinking around. They keep thinking, and until it became full-blown mental illness. And that's why we need to take care. And what I'm going to be leaving you with is the issue of self-care strategies to combat to make you mentally fit and to stay mentally healthy all through life. We also have it that women are twice as likely as men to experience depression and anxiety. 20% of women age 18 to 49 face psychological distress, which amounts to almost 30 million worldwide. Women also have 70% higher prevalence of serious mental illness, post-traumatic stress disorder, I've said it. Mental disorders that occur as a result of, severe life-threatening issues that the individual could not cope with. Even after the issue had gone, he's still thinking round. He can't just let go. And sometimes it comes as a result of past experiences, demise of loved ones. Are we together? Sudden heartbreaks, loss of job. Let me tell you, especially in Nigeria, if you do not design a well-structured coping strategies, you will soon collapse. And that's why what I brought you is just self-care, techniques, how to manage yourself in the midst of pressure. I want you to know there are pressures everywhere. Pressures as a result of societal expectations. Pressures from family expectations. Such that if you are not careful, you live for others, not even for yourself. And that's why it's important to talk about this. I move on. Still on that, what are these stressors? These stressors that stresses us as women. What are these stressors that stresses us as ladies? Gender roles. The double burden. When our PRO was talking, he said, we have some animations now. They will do women as if they have 10 hands. Women in the kitchen, women don't feel like a champion. Hello? Won't see any. Sometimes we also do the superwoman thing. No, until you reach your elastic limit, and you go beyond, and then you break. You will not break. In Jesus' name. The double burden. We have many of our women now. They are the breadwinners. Juggling school fees, juggling how to keep fit, juggling issues around work. So many things. Gone are those days where you think a woman will just sit down and your husband will be there blowing your face and say, my sweet, don't worry. The reality will soon shine you in the current situation, economic situation, that it is not 2000. In fact, most of the time, sir, our fathers can attest to it, it's 50-50. And sometimes, if you are not lucky, it can be more. You must devise ways to cope and yet not stressed. And that's some of the things I'm going to teach us before we go. Then the issue of stigma and stereotypes. Professor Bejide has spoken so much of that. Cultural norms as also. Then economic constraints and social expectations. I have 2 of my siblings abroad, 3. Sometimes they call and they ask, I just laugh. Why? They say, hardly they hear what the price of this has gone up, oh. The price of this has gone up, oh. They killed so. Let's not even go let's just talk about economic constraint. You will see that there is a great transition. Look at the fuel. I learned that there was a school that lecturers were asked to just take 2 days off, take 3 days on. Meaning that come only 3 days a week. I don't want to mention the name of the university. Come 3 days in a while. Some lecturers could not even afford the bill to fuel their cars. They were sleeping in their offices. It is that. Are we together? So if you do not devise means of coping, well, you understand what the home means. Now, hormonal influences too. Fluctuations during menstruation, pregnancy, postpartum, menopause, and all these things makes a woman more susceptible to breakage. Hormonal changes that happens in a woman. We've seen people who just because of putting to bed postpartum puerperal psychosis. It starts with some has expectation. They've been praying, Lord, this one, just like our last speaker said, it must be female. It must be a male. It must be a male. It must be a male. And then he came out again and is a female after 4 females. And then the husband comes to the hospital and said, that's your baby. Oh, wobiele. And they do you know some women just pass like that and tilted the normalcy line and became injured for life. But imagine if the person has a sense of what? If there are no women, where would be the men? Yeah. Where are those ends? Yes. We are the mother of the presidents. We are mother of vice chancellors. Mother of deputy vice chancellors. Yes. Mother of heads of senates. Of president of the House of Assembly. Talk about it. They came through us. So nothing to feel sorry about being a female gender. In fact, you should be proud. I'm proud to be a woman. I'm happy to be a woman. Yes. So it's important to start redefining womanhood so that we can all raise our shoulders high without feeling sorry. Because actually we are that addition that makes the difference. That's the truth. Thank you. Then, I've talked about postpartum challenges, gender-based violence. These are issues. And recently, I heard that Lagos State is trying to pass into law issues where we have child abuse, rapes, and all that as life sentence. Sincerely, such bills need to be passed. Where I worked previously, I love telling stories, but I will quickly wrap up so that our dignitaries waiting. This student was doing well. I met her in a 2-on level in my former place of work. And then suddenly we realized she didn't come for almost 3, 4, 1 month, 2 months down the semester. And we were wondering, and the parents have been calling. The parents have been calling. We didn't notice until the HOD called us. Do you notice has not been in school? And we're wondering what happened. So our friend put a call through to her. Guess where she was? She took her school fees, she rented an hotel, she paid them, and she starved herself for 2 weeks. In fact, it was a case, she attempted suicide. She wanted to die. Young girl, promising 200 level. And I was wondering, so we had to deceive her. A friend that was close to her had to deceive her to come to school. Immediately she came to school, I was interested in the case. Because, our young ones, they need our attention. In those days, I want you to what depression. These are things that still marvels me. You would trek, somebody who knows Lautech, you would trek from Idi Sheke to the end of and yet you are bouncing. Now you see people, their pocket money is 500,000. They are depressed. And then I'm wondering, check is a demon in depression. Hello? Fee paying school. Your mom and father has paid. Just carry yourself, come and read. When you want to eat, go and eat. And they say, I'm depressed. We need to start paying attention. There are triggers that was not in our days, but they have them loaded now. And that's why we need to build a strong support system for our female girls. Back to the story. And while she was immediately transported to the hospital, because I was so much interested, I felt, let me interact. What exactly? And the doctor said we were only lucky to have her. That in fact, she has attempted suicide. She has not been eating for the past 2 weeks. That we were only lucky to have her back. While they were trying to explore what really went wrong, we didn't know. What led me to that is gender-based violence. She came from a polygamous home where the mom used to take them for prayers with Afa. Under the guise of prayer for, I hope the letter is not for me. Under the guise of prayer for protection. And you know what happened? One of these days she wasn't lucky. Her mom took her and the younger sister. So the Afa was molesting her as far as when she was 5 years old. You know how stinking some of these ones can be. Molesting her 5 years old. After that, the sister 7 years old, he was servicing them under the cover of. But they couldn't open up to their parents. To her mom, she couldn't. And I know some of you might have experienced such. They couldn't. And you know what happened? She came to school after she has grown, and her mates did what we call cyberbullying. And that was the trigger. She went off. Her mate said, I'm going to put you on social media, your nude picture. And then she remembered, and she felt worthless. That since 5 she has been abused. What else? What else? And then that was it. That was it. Gender-based violence. These are current situations. Then beauty standards. Some of us, you just want to latest thing in town. Once an hairstyle is out, you are the first to do it. You must do it. Hello? All this can form what we call, they can put pressure on you. Social comparison. Ibiti wala wani. Oh, women, I can feel that lady. You are just comparing. As we are seated, somebody is already comparing herself. We say, that professor is so hello? And that's why no two parts are the same. That's why the number of population we have in the whole world, not a single fingerprint is the same. That tells you about uniqueness of purpose, uniqueness of assignments. So why compare yourself? And be grateful for where you are and for the hope of the future that you have ahead of you. Now, solutions. Because our time picker is already telling me I should round up. Solutions. I classify these solutions to 3 different places. And it's basically on self-care. I want to dwell on that. When we say self-care, what do we mean? Taking responsibility for your health. I want you to know, as a woman, nobody will care for you the way you will care for yourself. You will just be doing good until you faint. And then you go. And in less than 2 years, God bless you, let the man be a pastor. The church members will organize a woman. 1 minute, and you are gone. You are gone. That will not be our Lord. And that's why we talk about self-care. Taking responsibility for your care. Care for yourself as much as you care for others. Physical self-care strategies. Regular exercise. Most of the time, women don't pay attention to it. We just lump up. We say, and you do not take time out. And I have found, because there are young girls here, I don't want to abuse their mind. For women that are married, legitimately married, raise your hand. Legitimately married. There are forms of exercise that the Lord has created. Cooperate with our daddies. You will just see that you are fit every day. And people will be wondering, because this is not a marriage seminar, I will move on. But I hope you understand what I'm saying. Regular exercise. It can keep you fit. Then balanced diet. Sometimes as women, we do not have enough in our diet. You may need supplements. Vitamin supplements. Okay? These have been proven to reduce depression and anxiety risk. Sufficient sleep. Then there's something we often neglect. Hydration. Are we together? Water. Take plenty of fluids as much as possible. Just make it an habit that you want to stay hydrated by taking plenty fluids. I go to the second category of solution. Emotional and psychological self-care. This is where I want to do it. The emotional self-care and psychological self-care. There is something in psychiatry, mental health, that we call mindfulness meditation. How do you handle your psychological health, your mental health? Through mindfulness meditation. What does mindfulness meditation mean? Ability to focus on the now. Hello? Look at what puts you under pressure most of the time. Is it the now? It's not the now. It's rather the future or the past. Mindfulness meditation talks about ability to focus on now. I mean ability to focus on the present. What is happening to you right now? I give you 10 tips to practice mindfulness. Number 1. Take each day as it is. Hello? Take each day as it is. I quote by Tara Brank, the only way to live is by accepting each minute as an unrepeatable miracle. Focus on the now. Leave the future. You don't have it in your hands. And you will observe that once you start practicing this, you will stay healthy. 2, see in now. Hello? Some of the things are doing, when mothers here, we shiver. Hello? Somebody owns a phone as high as 1 M in school. And then I wonder, when he start working, kilo fell low. Hello? And I tell me, such a person, when life throw its reality on you, you won't be able to cope. Simplicity in now. That's the second tip of mindfulness. What do we mean by that? Realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. The present moment is what? Is all you ever have. Live as such. 3, mindfulness therapy. Embrace now. Live your life as if it is now. Embrace the now, which is a gift from God. I quote, the present moment is the only time over which you have dominion. It is your present moment that you have dominion over. The quote by Thich Nhat. 4, inner peace. Peace is present right here and now in ourselves and everything we do. 5th one that I want to emphasize, letting go. This is where our women have problem. Letting go. One share archives, they have archives of offenders of 1960, of 1980. You won't live long. It's not a curse. Even, some of these Bible tips that you just open and see for free, science is now dabbling into it and discovering it. Ability to let go. When a man says sorry, kilo tu fele in sorry. Ejo abukuloku. Let me sorry. What else? No, these are tips to make your heart safe, your mental health. Look at, I don't like talking about it because they will say bias against women. Our mom, the senator that is currently facing Nash, the person who claimed to have assaulted came publicly wanting to solve amicably, presented in the house, the Senate, and said, I am sorry. Ejo, eraponle. Kilo ye ko she? Ko wa she omoluabi, ko package. Bo fete. Forgetting the society we are in. He now said, I'm submitting a petition. I guess who our advisors are? They must have been those friends who advised Rehoboam, younger generation. Fete. We have to be careful. Practice to learn. Let go. Let go of offenses as quickly as possible. When somebody offends you and he says, I am sorry, let go. You need your mental stability to keep your body alive. That's principle I want to take home. Let go. You cannot stop the wave, but you can learn to solve. You may not be able to stop the wave, but you can learn to do what? Solve. Meaning you can learn to ride on the wave towards the ship, towards the border. Stay focused. Tip 6, stay focused.